Let's head into the papers now, see what the papers are saying in Nigeria. Very diverse headlines this morning. And I have with me in the studio a public affairs analyst and chartered accountant, Sheson Kwade, as well as a public affairs analyst, Smart Akpejoye. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
It's a pleasure.
Great. All right, let's start with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Vanguard is where we start from. On insecurity, we must silence drums of war. Burdened elders are saying this. Kolade, Anya, Obiozo, Wigwe, others speak. And there's a very long quote there drawing attention to this issue, right? Talking about the need to unite the country. From the Vanguard, let's go to the Guardian. Senate under fire over bow and go screening policy. 15 of 23 nominees enjoy controversial privilege. And it whittles quality of confirmation process, says CSOs, and we're not compromising standards. Lawan insists, that's the Senate President. Women angry at Buhari's biased cabinet list. Okay, you find that on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Let's move now to the Daily Trust. Daily Trust is where we go next now. Why we are negotiating with bandits. Sokoto government is revealing this. Certainly, it's been on the news recently how Sokoto State as well as Zamfara State are negotiating with bandits to bring, to return peace and normalcy to their states following the massive attacks by bandits in the past few months. You find all that on the front page of the Daily Trust. Let's go to the Daily Sun now, see if the sun is bright on this side. Stampede, a snake sack state assembly. And this is quite, well, you say, interesting, controversial, and troubling because it happened in Ondo State House of Assembly. All right, we also have other headlines there that said anxiety over Leah as video claims she is dead. Or there was a video of Grace Taku that went viral, who was kidnapped alongside some of her workers. And she claimed in that video that Leah Sharibu was dead and has been throwing controversy around. Buhari briefed working to secure her release, as the presidency says that. Released Ezazaki to us for medical treatment, Iran tells the federal government of Nigeria. All right, you find all that on the front page of the Daily Sun. Let's move now to the Blueprint. Blueprint is where we go next. Senate on ministerial screening. Don't allow checks and balances suffer. CSOs are saying that. And let's be cautious. Senator Abaribe is mentioning that. And why we allowed 16 of 24 nominees take a bow. You find all that on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. All right, from there, let's go now to The Nation. Let's go to The Nation now. Senators grill Sunday Dare, Dada, Magashi Abdullahi. Okay, you find all that. Adebayo Ngige, Alasho Adura, Silva, 5 others asked to take a bow. You find all that on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Okay, let's go now to the News Direct. News Direct is where we go now. NNPC seeks Chevron's support to build a condensate refinery, urges reduction in oil production costs. Okay, you'll find all that on the front page of the News Direct. Nigeria Tribune is where we go next now, and the final one for the morning. Anxiety over Leah Sharibu. In video, Boko Haram captive claims she is dead. Disturbing video creates more urgency for efforts of security services, as the presidency is saying that. And the statement was issued by the presidential spokesperson, Femi Adesina. All right, gentlemen, I'd like us to look at one of the trending issues now. The ministerial screening is still ongoing, and lots of Nigerians have criticized the issue of take a bow and go, whether for returning those who were returning ministers or those who have been lawmakers at one time or the other. Smart, let me start with you. I wonder what you think of this.
In the first place, I had criticized this when the trend started. That this the Ninth Assembly is doing it, they are only following precedent, and we cannot fault them for doing that. The simple truth is that this has been honed. They did not introduce it. For anybody that have served either even in the House of Assembly, if you have served, and perhaps, peradventure, you make it to the nominees of Mr. President as a minister, you will take a bow. If you had been a governor before, you will take a bow, because they will see it as a public service that you have done this, that they don't have to grill you again. First, that is the president, so don't let us go. Then we should not start faulting these people, but in the first place, introducing it is what is bad. Look, for everybody coming in, we should not have this culture of taking a bow. Come, give us your plan. I expect that within the first 10 minutes, they will come that if today you are appointed a minister, pick a ministry, tell us what will be your blueprint in that ministry. That is why you see the ministers coming in and they don't know what to do. So this issue of taking a bow, we should not talk about that. But then, what should have been the precedent is that, look, as you are coming, the moment you are appointed, because the president in the first place would have given you an indication that he's going to appoint you maybe about 2 weeks to that time. So because he would ask for your CV and your credentials, in that this thing, you should probably be looking at yourself and say, look, I think I can perform in this ministry. If I have done this, I think I'll do well in this ministry.
Yeah, but the president has the prerogative to send
anybody
to any portfolio.
But at least if you have a blueprint, say, look, if today they say, okay, smart. Now, if you're going to be a minister, where do you say? I'll say, okay, I want to probably be the minister for agriculture. This is what I want to do. This is my blueprint. That's my blueprint.
But if that privilege is given out, don't you think everyone would opt for the minister of petroleum?
No,
or
what I'm saying is that
power
you could pick any ministry.
Okay.
You could pick any ministry to work. See, the most important thing has to be first is your competence. Look, if you are competent, you should be able to work anywhere.
All right. Now, Sheson, Nigerians have been talking. Social media has gone awash with criticism of take a bow and go. They say that, in fact, drawing our minds back to the Senate president, who initially said that they were going to be thorough with the, the screening process. Does this water down, as one of the newspaper puts it, I think The Guardian, a civil society organization are saying that the process has been watered down because of the concept of take a bow and go?
Sincerely speaking, I'm disappointed in our legislators. And I want to take it off what Smart said. Somebody started it, someone can stop it.
Because there's no standing rule to that.
Yeah,
to
it's
say,
not
okay,
in our law.
It's our
it's
law.
A tradition, it's a tradition that somebody brought in and we never looked at it. These guys are not going to serve the legislators. They are going to serve with the masses. And it's quite disappointing that they cannot even give us any footprint. For me, it's personal, and I can say this without any fear of anything to tell you that we are in for another dipshit for the next 4 years. Because these are ministers that are going to be administrator to manage some of this so-called ministries. And they don't even have idea. Number one, if you are going for a screening, you will be prepared. All we were hearing, we have your CVs. Even when you go for a normal interview to be MD of a company, the board will definitely drill you, even if you are part of them before now. So why are we taking a bow? A senator or somebody who has been in the House of Assembly of a state for like 15, 20 years, you're asking him to take a bow because he has served us. What are the measures that qualifies him?
Because what Nigerians are saying is that if you were a governor before, or you were a senator before, or you were anything before, it's different from being the minister. It's another office.
Of course.
And you should
as
be
a legislator, you are making laws, but now you have to execute.
Yeah, because when it comes to the issue of screening, whether you qualify to hold the office, the DSS or the SSS does that. So that's not a problem. It's a given. In fact, for them to even make the list to this level, it means they have been cleared by the security agencies that they can stand.
Those ones are there. But we want to see
what do you have to offer as a minister
to tell us, okay, this is what, like what Smart said, this is where I have my core competence. But fine, it's at the prerogative of the president to take you elsewhere because he felt possibly you might perform there. But you must be able. Look at when they were drilling this guy, Dari of Oyo State.
Sunday Dari, yeah.
Sunday Dari, the guy was able to, he's a journalist, by virtue of everything, everyone would think he would talk in the line of information, but was able to expose their. In fact, when Olamilekan was talking to him, he said, "We want you to give us some explanation. You are coming in two sides. We are screening you at the same time, giving us an insight into NCC." You understand? But the rest people, because Senator Mamora is a former senator, the next thing is to take a bow. Anywhere you are going to place it, let them even talk, let them even say something.
All right. Now, Smart, the idea of attaching portfolios to names when even going to the House in the first place to say, okay, this ministerial nominee is slotted against this portfolio and so on. No president in Nigeria has done that. Do you think that's the way to go? And if that is
Honestly,
done, would it be any different?
Yes, honestly, it could have been a very better way to start. I was expecting at least sometime, I don't know. I was expecting Mr. President to have attached the portfolio. For once, let us know our ministers from ab initio. Let us know that, okay, and let them come up and give us that, look, I have appointed, let me pick Ralph for example, because he's so strong and he has so much energy in him. Let him go and work in the work ministry. So Ralph, you are coming in. I'm expecting that he will say, okay, I'm coming in as a minister for works. I'm coming in as a minister for works, and I know this is my area of core competence. I've been the commissioner for works in Lagos for so year. When I went to Osun State, this is what I did. This is what I did. Coming back, this is what I'm going to do. Look, we must be able to.
So it gives direction.
It gives direction. Okay. But where there is no direction, because right now, I looked at the list. I am yet to see who fits in as our minister for national planning. I have not seen.
No economics.
I have not seen a core economics on that on that team. I have not seen a core financial analyst who is going to be our finance minister. I don't know. Because these are two important ministries, national planning, finance minister. I was expecting he's going to bring somebody that we know that, look, this person is tested and is trusted in the area of economics. I've not seen. Okay. So I'm not too particular. I'm not too happy about the list in some areas. Okay. But however, let's see how it goes.
Anyway, let's wait to see how the process ends, and then when they take their portfolios, we wait to see how the president is going to allocate it, and then Nigeria will give them the benefit of the doubt. Some of them are administrators, some have experiences in different fields and all of that. Thank you very much for coming, Smart Akpejoye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right.
Big stories all jostling for attention on the front pages this morning. In the studio with me is public affairs analyst and chartered accountant Sheson Okwade, plus public affairs analyst Smart Akpejoye. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us at this time.
Good morning.
All right, we begin straight away. Our first paper to look at is the Vanguard. The big story there is insecurity. We must silence drums of war. Burdened elders, Kolade, Anya, Obiozo, Wigwe, others united. A poignant quote there. It reads, the bloodshed is rising, killings are multiplying, and the whole country isn't at ease. Hatred rules the hour, sharpening the lines of division by the minute. It goes on, and the picture story there about the ISWAP kidnap of 5 or 6 aid workers. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's check out The Guardian. The Senate under fire over bow and go screening policy. 15 of 23 nominees enjoy controversial privilege. It whittles quality of confirmation process. That's according to civil societies. We're not compromising standards, Lawan insists. Women are angry at Buhari's biased cabinet list. That's The Guardian. To the Daily Trust now. The biggest story there is from Sokoto State government saying or justifying negotiations with bandits. While we're negotiating with bandits, that's how the story goes. Let's go to Daily Sun. The Stampede as snake sacks State Assembly. You understand this occurred in Ondo State. Get details in Daily Sun. And that's a picture story of another development, collapsed building as a result of flood and windstorm. This in Bauchi State. The blueprint this morning, Senate on ministerial screening, while we allowed 16 of 24 nominees take a bow. To The Nation now, Senate grills Sunday Dare, Dada, Magashi, Abdullahi, and a tearful farewell for Channels TV man Precious. Let's check out News Direct. NNPC seeks Chevron support to Bull Condensate Refinery, urges reduction in oil production. Finally, at this time is the Nigerian Tribune. The biggest story is anxiety over Leah Shiribu. In video, Boko Haram captive claims she's dead. Disturbing video creates more urgency for efforts of security services. That's from the presidency. Up there on the Tribune is this heart-wrenching quote from Precious's mother, the corps member killed in police-Shiites clash. She said her son promised she would be famous. She didn't know it would be in death. Right there, sad one indeed. May his soul rest in peace. Gentlemen, let's talk about this latest e-swap video now. A lot to talk about, huge concern, reawakened. But with the presidency's intervention that talks have started, does it come for you, Smart? Does it give you any form of reassurance?
It does not. And because when first quickly on Leah Shaibu, I'll quickly touch Leah Shaibu before coming back. On Leah Shaibu, the government has told us that they are in touch and they are doing something. And for over a year, we don't know what they are doing. They've not come up with any results, so I don't want to believe what the government have said. But however, you see, I watched the video yesterday on your news segment and I was extremely touched. Honestly, I did not have a good sleep. I did not have a good sleep because this is somebody that has been kidnapped in the course of trying to give assistance to the helping hands. They went to lend an helping hand and in the process they were caught. And you can look at the state at which they are. Look, she was the only one talking, but if you look at the other guys, they have accepted their fate. And if you look at the way these people have even been, if they are going to invariably kill them, the way they are being slaughtered, being beheaded, being shot, you see, it gives so much in humanity that how we have degenerated to that aspect. The government should, what the lady was saying yesterday in nutshell is that she's asking, please, talk to these people. And for them to have released that video, they are asking the government, come and negotiate with us. I think the government must move fast, must act fast, and at least get these people out. Right. It is so disheartening, right. Very disheartening.
This is not just propaganda by Boko Haram. No. It appears that there is a message that Boko Haram wants to drive across to the government about, what do you think?
I listened to the lady yesterday, right. And like Smart said, it's quite disheartening that in the process of you trying to serve this nation, to lend hand to those at the IDP and some areas, you are actually being for it. It gives you a kind of a restless mind that nobody's safe. The fact that government said they are actually working on things, we are actually tired. And it boils down to what we have actually been saying. We lack intelligence gathering about some of those things. And it should take us back to the aspect of what we have been clamoring for, community policing. These people are somewhere in a community where people that does not stay in that community will see them as strangers. But because there's nobody to challenge them, they have their free day. So we have been saying it that let's trickle down this issue of policing to the community where in the process where 4 or 5 people will be able to man things and say, oh, no, what is going on in that area? What's going before they could carry out that video, right. That means they have the free day.
All right, so that said now, there still remains a long-standing offer by the military, amnesty, surrender your arms. And then we've seen the daily reports now of how the army, plus the Air Force and all the other agencies, you know, with success stories of all that they've been able to do to curtail the terrorists. Yet we are seeing this. What does Boko Haram want?
If you ask me what does Boko Haram want, honestly, I can't really answer that question.
Some have said it's purely about money.
You see, first, Boko Haram shouldn't have been. That's why sometimes I don't hesitate to say the northern leaders, they have failed their people because they didn't do what they are supposed to do at the right time. If you have educated most of these people that are in Boko Haram, they are the Almajiri's children. They are the Almajiris. These are the people that when you go to the streets of Kaduna, Kanu, You see all these people, you see them roaming about, going to eateries to carry the food where people are eating, and they are even, you see, these are people that you cannot even confront. If you look at the rate of drug intake, it is prevalent more in the north. So what are the northern leaders? What have they been doing? So if you look at them, they've ruled us more. So you will look at it that they have really failed their people. And that is why you have it more in that area now. What they should do now is that, look, let us curtail the spread. Those that have gone into it, but let us make sure that they don't go again. You must, that's why I support Mr. President when he said no to the Almajiri, but it's not just saying no to the Almajiri. What are you doing to bring these children to reorientate them? Bring them out of that circle of where they thought that probably they don't have life. Give them life. I tell you, if they plan themselves very well, the North alone will feed the whole of the world.
So provision of basic amenities might just be it.
Basic amenities, give the, train them in the area of agriculture, train them in so many areas, and these people will be used to.
So, and then, so what position should the federal government be taking now as talks resume or commence? It says that the issue of Lea Sheribu and a host of all the others, the several captives, haven't been closed. What should be the approach of the federal government in this issue now?
The approach is, let's get those people out. Whatever they want for now.
If it is money, indeed.
Let's get those people out. Families are weeping, they are crying. And the only solution anybody wants to listen to, if it's money they want, let's give that to them. And in that process, let's have our intelligent gathering on how to curtail some of those things. These guys, they have their plan. Like we keep telling them, we are sitting on another gunpowder. Look at the Shiite. They are everywhere now. This is how Boko Haram started. Let's have these guys, we have their meeting, and you have like 3,000 people gathering together to carry out the protest. And there is nobody that can give a clue that this will happen tomorrow for you to curtail them. So we must work on our intelligent gathering to know what is going on. And again, we are calling for community policing, where people can, in a geographical area, monitor activities so that you won't go into a land that you don't know. We'll be able to fit you out.
All right, Sheson Okwade and Smart Akpejoye, thank you both for your time on the paper review today.
Thank you.
Head into the papers now, see what the headlines are this morning. And I have with me Sheson Okwade as well as Smart Akpejoye. Gentlemen, it's nice to have you join me right now.
Yes, thank you.
Great.
Good morning.
Let's begin with the Vanguard newspaper now on insecurity. We must silence drums of war. Burdened elders of the country are voicing out. Kolade, Anya, Obiozo, Wigwe, others who speak on this. And there is a quotation here which certainly will draw your attention. It's still on the front page of the Vanguard. And he said, the bloodshed is rising, killings are multiplying, and the whole country is not at ease. Hatred rules the air and sharpening the lines of division by the minute. Foreign and local interests seem to unite in only one purpose, a quest to take Nigeria apart by all means. And their real identity is artfully concealed as they borrow other masks such as Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, kidnappers, and all of that. And they are calling for a united front by all Nigerians. This is by elders now. If you grab a copy, you get the details of what that is. But that's what you see on the front page of the Vanguard. Certainly, we'll be talking about this shortly. Now, let's go to The Guardian. Guardian newspaper now says, Senate under fire over bow and go screening policy. 15 of 23 nominees enjoy controversial privilege, and it whittles quality of confirmation process, says civil society organizations. We are not compromising standards, Ahmed Lawan insists. That's the Senate president. Women angry at Buhari's biased cabinet list. You find all that on the front page of The Guardian. Daily Trust is where we go next. We are negotiating with bandits. Sokoto state government is saying this, and Sokoto is not alone. Zamfara state is also negotiating with bandits to restore peace and normalcy in their states after many months of attack by what they call bandits in those states. All right, that's what you find on the front page of the Daily Trust. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Stampede as snake sack state assembly in Ondo state. You find that and that on the front page of the Daily Sun. And anxiety over Leah as video claims she is dead. The Buhari briefed, working to secure her release, as the presidency issued a statement through his spokesman there, Femi Adesina. Release El-Zakzaky to us for medical treatment, Iran tells the federal government. Okay, that's what you find on the front page of the Daily Sun. Let's move now to Blueprint. Blueprint says Senate on ministerial screening, while we allowed 16 of 24 nominees to take a bow, don't allow checks and balances suffer. CSOs are saying that is a civil society organization, and let's be cautious. Senator Abaribe is saying that. Okay, that's what you find on the Blueprint. Now let's see what The Nation is like. The Nation newspaper says senators grill Sunday Dare, Dada Magashi and Abdullahi, Adebayo Ngige, Alasho Adura, Silva, 5 others asked to take a bow. You find that on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Okay, from The Nation, let's go to News Direct. News Direct says NNPC seeks Chevron's support to build condensate refinery and urges reduction in oil production cost. Okay, that's what you find on the front page of the News Direct. From there, let's go to the Nigeria Tribune. Tribune is going to be our last paper this morning. Anxiety over Leah Sharibu. In video, Boko Haram captive claims that she is dead. That was a video by Grace Taku that has gone viral, which is very, very disturbing. Disturbing video creates more urgency for efforts of security services, as the presidency is saying that. Okay. Gentlemen, I'd like us to talk about the story on the front page of the Vanguard on insecurity. We must silence drums of war. Burdened elders are saying this, and certainly an elder, respectable elder like Professor Christopher Kolade and others are lending their voices on this. The past few months have seen voices from different regions of the country saying this, accusing the other side of this, accusing the other side of this. But elders are saying, we have been through this before, so we shouldn't go back again. We all know what the consequences are. I'd like to start with you, Sheson.
There's a proverb in my area that what a young man will not see if he climbs the tree. If an elder sits down,
he sees it.
He sees more than you see. The fact remains that there is no country that goes to war and remain the same. Definitely everything about that area will be dead. This issue of people exchanging one and inciting the masses to their own benefit, we should put an end to it. We are all complaining that there is no economic growth, where people are leveraging on technology to develop themselves. We are going back retrospective, we are not forging ahead. All we sing about is, this is not fair, this is not fair. We should come with this atmosphere of what those developed countries does. What do? They country first, irrespective of your tribe. Are you a Nigerian? You see, the things we met while we were growing up is there's a mix of all these tribes. The Yoruba man will marry an Igbo person, an Igbo marries. That's why if you go to some parts in the north, it's predominantly Yoruba area, Igbo area, because that is the way our leaders grow. And it helped us. Those are the period when they will tell you $1 is to a naira. Because there was unity. I can believe in you. You get something out. Who is doing it? He's a Yoruba man. I will not support him. That thing must go to. We should stop that thing and bring to an end this drum of war.
All right.
For us to move forward.
We should stop it. But one thing there is that when it comes to who should drive that inspiration, who should drive that unity and all of that smart, a lot of people are saying that the government of the day, after seeing either political division or ethnic division that has arisen due to socio-economic or political, wranglings over the time, it is time now to sit down and unite the country. And that inspiration should have been championed by the government.
Yes, if you say by the government, I would say by the politicians.
Okay.
You see, the politicians are our problem in this country called Nigeria. You see, the politician, the moment they don't get something, they will go other way around to want to get it. As far as I'm concerned, that's why I've always said that the moment you emerges from your political party, you should stop seeing yourself as a party member, but see yourself as now a nationalist. If you have
statesman.
as a statesman, if you have won the election as a governor under the banner of APC, then do not see yourself as the governor of APC. See yourself as the governor of the states that you are governed. And for that 4 years, detach yourself from the party politics in your state. Focus on governance. And because of the fact that we focus too much on party politics, that is why you are seeing all this drum of war. We must, and that most of the time I've always said, if they say, oh, there is kidnapping on the way, that it is something outside Fulani, I'll say, please don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. Bandits they've carried out their activities on the road. Kidnappers, don't stop attaching it, because there is no particular crime that is synonymous with some particular person. So let us first of all look at it. If there is crime, let us call those people criminal. Kidnappers, they are kidnappers. Stop attaching it to one ethnic thing, because when you look at it, because of the fact that we probably want to, that is where the draw of, that is where it's coming up from. Most of the time, if you see kidnapping, they will say, oh, so particular person, so particular ethnic group. Right. I don't like that. Yeah. Look, if there is crime, let us call this a spade a spade. The crime has been committed by criminals, not by a particular person, because in all, mostly, when you get these people, you find out that they are perhaps, most of even the kidnappers, they cut across. There is a Yoruba man among them, there is an Igbo man among them, there is an Hausa man among them. Why then stigmatize that it is one particular base thing? And again, our government is failing us. I have said, at this present 21st century, nomadic way of cattle rearing, it does not belong to this 21st century. Okay.
The world has moved past that, and the issue of those who are the greatest agriculturists in the area of cattle and all of that, ranching and all of that. She's not the statement by elders like Christopher Kolade, Anya Obiozo, and the others that the paper has quoted. How much of this should we take advantage of as a government, as a people?
You see, it's something that is very paramount, and we just have to do it. People might say the government. I feel people need to take the bull by the horn. If this politician, like Smart said, incites things into you, they are not going to lead the war. It's you that they are going to sacrifice. Most of the time that these things are being carried out, the families of the politicians are not there. If they incite anything inside of you, tell them to bring their firstborn to lead the war, and you follow.
Are Nigerians, anyway, I wouldn't say all Nigerians, but the people who are involved, are they that enlightened to say no? You remember during the, prior to the elections, when they were talking about vote buying, there was a campaign against the acceptance of money and so on. But there are others who say, okay, when they go to the media, or when they are faced or in front of the cameras, they say, I won't do it. But when you speak to them on one-on-one, they say, that's for the media.
The issue is we must continue to bring this thing to their doorstep. It's not done in a day. We don't expect that change, that sporadic change to just occur and say, now this thing must stop. No. Every day, you see, they said if a Smith keeps eating something at a particular space, there's something he wants to achieve. It's not until when you go to the four wall of the school that you are enlightened. Most of our leaders that you're looking at today, our fathers, most of them didn't go to school, but they have this thing working for them. So we must continually enlighten our people. If they are inciting those things, they are not going to die. Any little thing that happens, they've picked up their flights, they're out of the country. And they will do that. So we must encourage our people to take the bull by the hand and say, no, if you want us to fight, we will not fight. This is what we want for you. Set the agenda. And with this will go down. We must live in unity. That is the way we grew up. We must live. The Igbo man must not see himself as an Igbo person. What you are concerned about is, I am a Nigerian. And together, we can live together and make this country great again.
All right, Smart. Many of the leaders we have right now are people of the older generation whom were either around during the independence days, or who were around in the First Republic when things were, when Nigeria was Nigeria, Second Republic when Nigeria was still working, and they've gone through that process. They've seen where Nigeria worked. And they're still present right now where a lot of people say things are not working the way it's supposed to be. So they can compare the past and the present. Some of them are the ones even dividing the country when it comes to utterances and the use of speeches and so on.
Once again, like I say, it is unfortunate when I see, sometimes when I see the youths discussing some issues that are mundane, when I see the youths discussing on ethnic or religious or political line, sometimes I get worried and say, does these people even think at all? So the youths, honestly, they must start looking at it that, look, they must start getting themselves out of this circle of, it's a circle of poverty. That's just it. It's a circle of poverty. It's a circle of poverty because
poverty of the mind as well.
Yes, because the politicians again that are using them, these old men that are using them, they know what is right, but they are pushing them because they know they will give them money. And the moment they are poor, you will not think right. Somebody will have to think for you. And they are grooming their own children to think right so that they will now bring their children
and be Lord over you.
And you see, you are a driver. Your father drove his father. You want to drive his own son. I don't know. Look.
Smart. All right, let's leave it here now. Thank you very much, Smart Akpejoye, for thank you very much for coming as well. And Sheson Kwade, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right.